Hi, and welcome back. We're going to continue working solving linear equations and inequalities. We're going to move from the one-step and two-step equations and get into some multi-step equations, equations where we might have variables on both sides of the equation, or where we might need to perform some steps such as the distributive property or combining like terms before we can solve for the given variable. We're going to first start off by taking a look at a video or a song that might help us remember the steps for solving an equation.
When you go to solve for x, you gotta use steps and follow with a check or you're gonna get wrecked. Let me tell you about the craze that's sweeping across the nation. It's the dance steps to solving an equation. First to simplify, put your hands up in the sky. First to simplify, put your hands up in the sky. Then you distribute and you do a little scoop. Then you distribute and you do a little scoop. First you simplify, put your hands up in the sky. Then you distribute and you do a little scoop. Still need to simplify, put your hands up in the sky. So you combine like terms and do the squirm. Still need to simplify, put your hands up in the sky. So you combine like terms and do the squirm. First you simplify, put your hands up in the sky. Then you distribute and you do a little scoop. Still need to simplify, put your hands up in the sky. So you combine like terms and do the squirm. Add and subtract x terms alone on one side, so take a step back and do a big slide. Add and subtract x terms alone on one side, so take a step back and do a big slide. Add and subtract x terms alone on one side, so take a step back and do a big slide. First you simplify, put your hands up in the sky, then you distribute and you do a little scoop. Still need to simplify, put your hands up in the sky, so you combine like terms and do the squirm. Add and subtract x terms alone on one side, so take a step back and do a big slide. Multiply and divide, the answer you will learn when you jump to the left and do a full turn. Multiply and divide, the answer you will learn when you jump to the left and do a full turn. Now check. Check, check, to check, check, check. Check, check, to check, check, check. Check, check, to check, to check, to check, to check, to check, to check, check, check. First you simplify, put your hands up in the sky, then you distribute and you do a little scoop. Still need to simplify, put your hands up in the sky, so you combine like terms and do the squirm. Add and subtract x terms alone on one side, so take a step back and do a big slide. Multiply and divide, the answer you will learn when you jump to the left and do a full turn. Now check. Check, check, to check, check, check. Check, check, to check, check, check. Check, check, to check, to check, to check, to check, to check, to check, check, check.
All right, you can sit down now and stop dancing. But now we're going to try to take a look at an example and see if we can use those dance steps, that song, to help us figure out how to solve an equation. So first we simplify. Okay, there are no like terms here to simplify. So we go down to our next step. Then you distribute. Do a little scoot. We'll distribute here. So we get 4x minus 7x plus 14. And then we still need to simplify. I can simplify the x terms. Negative 3x plus 14 equals 26. So we combine like terms. No more like terms, we just combine those. Add and subtract x terms alone on one side. So we'll get the x term alone on one side. So I'm going to subtract 14 on both sides of the equation. Left with negative 3x equals 12. Finally, multiply and divide the answer you will learn. So divide by negative 3, and we get x equal to negative 4. Now we got to check it to make sure we got the right solution. So if we put negative 4 back in for x, we've got 4 times negative 4 minus 7 times negative 4 minus 2 equal to 26. And if we simplify, so we've got negative 16 minus 7 times negative 6 equals 26. Negative 16 plus 42 equals 26. And when I combine negative 16 and 42, I get 26 equals 26, which is a true statement, so I know I solved the equation correctly. So here are a few examples. Why don't you pause the video and try them on your own and see if you can get the solution for x. Okay, so when we take a look at it, we can see that when we combine like terms, we get 7x plus 4 equals 32. Add and subtract x terms alone on one side. 7x equals 28. Multiply or divide the answer you will learn. X equals 4. And we can substitute it back in to check. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 4 is 40. Minus 2 times 4 is 8. So that brings us down to 32. Next one, we can't combine like terms, but we can distribute. So minus 2x plus 10. Then we can combine like terms. 4x plus 10 equals 46. Add or subtract x terms alone on one side. 4x equals 36. Multiply or divide. So we divide by negative 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Check it. 9 times 6 we see is 54. And then we have 9 minus 5 inside the parentheses, which is 4. And negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 54 minus 8 equals 46. So we solved that correctly. Once again, 2 more examples. You can pause the video and try it on your own and check your work in just a moment. All right, so the first example, I distributed 4/3 times 7 and 4/3 times negative x to get what I have in red. Next step, since I had fractions, I wanted to eliminate the fraction, so I multiplied by a common denominator. And you could have done that. Maybe you did it a different way. That's fine. Maybe you kept the fractions in there. But I wanted to eliminate them, so I multiplied everything by 3. Multiplied both sides of the equation by 3, and that canceled out the denominators here. So 28 minus 4x is 36. I subtracted 28 to get the x by itself, and then divided by negative 4 to get negative 2. Second example, notice we had x's on both sides of the equation. So there are multiple ways we could do that. This is just one example, or one way to solve it. There are multiple ways to do it. I added 6 to both sides. And then I had to get x's alone on one side. So here I have 4x, here I have 7x. So I need to get the x to the opposite side because I already have the constant term 9 on the right side. So I've got to get the x's alone on the left side. So I subtracted 7x to eliminate the positive 7x I had. That left me with negative 3x equals 9. And then I divided by negative 3 to cancel out the negative 3 being multiplied by x. And I got x equals negative 3. Okay, so let's take a look at this next example, where we've got grouping symbols, same thing. See if I can simplify like terms. I don't have like terms yet, so I distribute and do a little scoot. And I can distribute on the right side of the equation as well. Now I need to combine like terms. So So I have 5x minus 10 equals negative 2x plus 4. Next, I just need to get x terms alone on one side. So I'll just add 10 to get my constant terms together. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get the x terms on one side. Since I have 5x and negative 2x, I'll add 2x instead of subtracting 5x. If I would subtract 5x, I would have eliminated everything on the left side of the equation. So I need to eliminate what's on the right. Leaves me with 7x equals 14. Now to get x by itself, I divide by 7. X is 2. And I can put that back in to check it. Let's take a look at the next one. So here's another one that has fractions in it, and I mentioned one way that we could do that. Remember, there are multiple ways to solve any equation. One way is to eliminate fractions by finding the lowest common denominator. Notice 5/8, negative 3/8, a half, and 7/8. The denominator goes into 8, their lowest common denominator. So if I multiply both sides of the equation by 8, notice I'm not changing anything because I'm multiplying both sides by the same number. Distribute. That leaves me with 5m minus 3 equal to 4m when I distribute on this side plus 7. I can get my x terms, or in this case my m terms, alone on one side first if I want. And then I can add my constant terms together. And I get m equals 10. If I wanted to, notice it doesn't change anything if I were to get my constant terms together first. Let's say I wanted to subtract 7. Cancel out the positive 7 there. Then I would need to subtract 5m on this side. And then divide by negative 1. Notice the solutions agree, no matter which way I solve that. And a few more examples. Notice, try to combine like terms. I can't, so I distribute. Get my constant terms alone. Add or subtract x terms alone. Actually, it's the z terms. Now get the z terms alone on one side. Notice when that happens, they disappear. And I have nothing left on the left side of the equation. Negative 9 on the right side. So the equation now reads 0 equals negative 9. Last time I checked, that's not a true statement. So there's no possible solution that will work for z in this case that will make this equation true. If we take a look at the bottom one, combine like terms we can't, so we distribute. Okay, so we get 6x plus 6 equal to 6x plus 6. And right now you see something strange. It's the same on both sides. So if we were to continue solving for x, that's going to cancel out. Get x terms alone on one side. And that's going to cancel out. So I have nothing equal to nothing. And that is a true statement. 0 equals 0. So in that case, no matter what we choose for x, it's always going to be true. So we can call that infinitely many solutions. Meaning no matter what I choose, it will be a solution since we have equivalent expressions on both sides of the equation. All right, so those are the steps for solving multi-step equations. So just remember that song and the dance steps that go with it, and you'll do just fine. Do the practice problems, and we'll see you in class with any questions you might have.